The bold and the beautiful spoilers are in for Friday, May 23, 2025. In tomorrow's episode, fans can expect Brooke Logan to finally snap out of feeling sorry for herself. Plus, a couple rejoices at their reunion. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the next episode of the CBS soap opera. Brooke Logan's turnaround. Fans have watched as Brooke Continuity feels sorry for herself and can't seem to get it together. The heartbroken blonde has been on autopilot, but her passion for life seems gone. Brooke also keeps talking to Ridge Forrester about how they are destined to be together. There is an event that happens in Friday's episode. This event will get Brooke to snap out of her pity party. Taylor Hayes' assurance. Meanwhile, Taylor Hayes will likely still be with Ridge. Although Taylor plays it off like she's not threatened, if that were true, she wouldn't be reminding Ridge of their love. Another interesting thing to note is that at the end of Thursday's episode, Taylor kept trying to kiss Ridge passionately, but he responded with little pecks. Taylor didn't seem to notice, but this fan sure did. Carter Walton's Joy, the bold and the beautiful spoilers for tomorrow, reveal that one couple will rejoice over their reunion. While Ridge has a lot to think about, it's likely not him. At least, not yet. However, we did just see Hope Logan and Carter Walton reunite. So far, Hope has been trying to explain things to Carter. Of course, after reuniting with Hope, there was one more thing that Carter needed to do. While Carter will continue telling Daphne Rose that he's back with Hope, she will think it's a bad idea. Daphne mentioned that Hope is bad for the company. So it seems Daphne will start plotting to get Hope away from both Carter and Forrester creations. That could pit Daphne and Steffi Forrester Finnegan against each other, which would be interesting. Ridge Forrester's inner debate back over with Ridge. Expect him to be in turmoil over his heart. Ridge has heard Katie Logan's words and knows what he feels in his heart. However, Ridge specifically said he would not literally break Taylor's heart again. At some point, Ridge won't be able to deny his feelings anymore. So what is worse, Taylor's pain now or later? Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Friday, May 23, 2025? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Soap Spectrum. I am Emily here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. At Forrester, Taylor tells Ridge she's not questioning anything about him or them. She understands the fanfare about him and Brooke, but that's work. I believe in the two of us, despite Brooke. He pulls her to him and gushes about her confident and radiant smile. It really doesn't bother her, him and Brooke on the runway. Taylor says it's business. She's happy the show was a hit, but it doesn't change what they have. You come home to me every night. They kiss. Ridge tells Taylor this is the self-assured woman he fell in love with before things got complicated. I kinda like you. I like you a lot. He tells her she's transformed his life since the day he met her. She showed him love doesn't have to be complicated or have drama. Taylor teases, a little drama. Ridge ruminates about making love with abandon and growing old together. Taylor muses about how much they've been through together. They've grown and changed. Ridge grunts, older and wiser. Taylor says they've earned this. This is it, Ridge. Finally, this is our time. The best chapter of our lives. They kiss and embrace. In the design office, Brooke tells Hope she can't give up on Ridge. Hope can understand that given their breakup had to do with her taking the CEO position to convince Carter to give the company back. Brooke's glad Hope apologized to Ridge. Hope says life is too short, something she's been reminded of lately. If Ridge is her destiny, she wants that for her. Brooke wants that for her too. Hope beams. Actually, I already am. Brooke realizes that Hope is back with Carter and embraces her. She's thrilled. They sit and Brooke admits she was hoping for this. Hope says things have happened to steer her in the right direction. She was hurt by what he did, but she now understands the difficult position he was in. A friend recently reminded her how wonderful their relationship was before that. She and Carter recognize what they have is special and want to make the most of the time they have left. Brooke squints. "That's kind of morbid, honey. Hope didn't mean it that way," and says she believes Carter will never let her down again. Brooke's glad one of them is finally figuring things out. "I'm glad you finally found your footing, honey." They recap that she's back at Forrester and back with Carter. Brooke tells her she has a bright future ahead of her. Hope smiles, but flashes to telling Carter that Liam is dying. At Carter's loft, Daphne reacts to him, telling her he's fallen in love again, with Hope. Daphne asks what happened to the things he overheard her saying to Liam. Carter says he misinterpreted it. "I'm the man Hope wants to be with. I'm her future." She reminds him that he told her she was right all along. Daphne thinks she's making up excuses and trying to backpedal. Carter says he was wrong about what he heard. Daphne hates seeing him put his trust in Hope only to be hurt again. Carter believes in his future with Hope, and nothing and no one is going to come between them. Carter realizes this isn't what Daphne wants to hear. She can't comprehend this hold Hope has on him. Why would she say she wanted to be with Liam if she didn't mean them? She's sure Hope is manipulating Carter and will end up with Liam. Carter shakes his head. That's not the case. He hates that he's hurting Daphne. Under any other circumstances, it would be so easy for them. "You're remarkable, you're special, but Hope's the one for me." He thanks her for being there for him and listening. She smiles. Of course. Daphne knows how deeply he cares about Hope. Au revoir, Carter Walton. With that, she walks out. Hope arrives at Carter's door and plants a huge kiss on him. She tells him her mother is incredibly happy for them. She's glad he didn't give up on them, or they'd never have made it to this place. Carter reiterates that he's all in on this. Hope is too. "I believe in you. Every word you said. I know you won't let me down again." Alone in the main office, Ridge flashes through his recent romance with Taylor. At the same time, Taylor is in dressing room reminiscing as well, and looking forward to making more memories. Ridge then sits at his laptop and looks at photos from the fashion show and remembers Brooke asking for a future together and asking him to come home so she can be his Logan again. In the design office, Brooke thinks about Ridge and decides there's no way they're done with each other. She believes in their destiny. In the main office, Ridge closes his laptop and looks pensive. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that Shayla Carter Sharp is overjoyed to have a relationship with her granddaughter. However, fans know that it's only a matter of time before Luna Nozawa tries to kill again. Could Sheila be forced to have the young villain arrested or even kill her for the greater good? Keep reading and let's explore this possibility. Luna Nozawa's obsession fans know that Luna has had an obsessive-type personality since her debut. Over the time that the villain has been on the canvas, she has really shown just how determined she is to accomplish her goals. B and B fans saw how far she went to get Bill Spencer. For Luna, it didn't seem to matter what kind of relationship it was, either paternal or romantic. In the end, Luna couldn't have Bill in any way, though. Fans also saw how far Luna went to deal with Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Tom Starr, and Paul Hollis Hollister. While Luna does seem a tad obsessive about Will Spencer, her main focus right now seems to be on her bio dad, John Finn Finnegan. Shayla Carter Sharp's joy over with Sheila, she has always wanted a relationship with her kids and grandchildren. However, for one reason or another, Sheila is always banned. Then, we have Sheila living in Los Angeles with Deacon Sharp. Sheila has been on her best behavior for a long time now. Unfortunately, it hasn't helped smooth things over with Steffi and Finn, including saving Kelly Spencer's life. However, when Luna approached Sheila, the two instantly clicked. Deacon Sharp deceived the bold, and the beautiful spoilers reveal that while Sheila is spending a lot of time with Luna, she has to hide it from Deacon. The restaurant owner has a bad feeling about Luna. Deacon even said that after her pardoning, Deacon is the king of second chances and is a former felon himself. However, Deacon's gut is just screaming danger when it comes to Luna. Then, Deacon gave Sheila a choice. It's either Luna or him. The reformed villain said she chose Deacon, but then snuck around and got an apartment for Luna. At some point, Deacon will find out the truth, saving Steffi Forrester Finnegan, with Luna getting even more furious with Steffi for blocking a relationship with Finn. How long until she makes a bold move? With no one willing to give Luna the time of day, she's getting more pissed off. At one point, Luna could decide to get rid of Steffi again. However, if Sheila gets wind of this, she could be forced to take drastic action. Is it possible that Sheila saves Steffi from Luna, only to have to put her own granddaughter down? It would be devastating and heartbreaking for Sheila. However, we wonder if this would finally allow Steffi to give her mother-in-law a chance. It's official. Get your calendars and mark this past week as the one in which Bold and Beautiful just completely stopped making sense. People were unnecessarily cruel. Decisions were made that defied logic, and Brooke, well, she did what Brooke does, which hasn't made sense in ages. Let's dive in, shall we? I can't help but have a sneaking suspicion that down the line, we're going to find out that when Daphne declared her feelings to Carter last week, they wound up in bed together. Despite the fact that it's kinda sorta cheating to reveal things to the audience after the fact, it can be an effective storytelling device. Speaking of Carter, I was dumbfounded by his end-of-week cruelty. As Daphne stood there declaring her love and basically pawing the hunk, he didn't stop her to say, listen, we need to talk. Instead, he let her go on and on to the point that I was embarrassed for her and angry with him. It certainly looks as if Bold and Beautiful is planning to send Daphne back to Paris. Next week's spoilers have the French Beauty airport bound, complete with the return of Tom Arnold's Captain Deuce Stevens. Because, I don't know, has someone out there been clamoring for more of Arnold's buffoonery? Anyone? Bueller, given that this is all unfolding against major developments in Carter and Hope's relationship. I stand by my previous assertion that even if Daphne does leave town, it won't be for long, and she may not come back alone. The more Carter talked about his longtime desire to have a family, the brighter the writing on the wall became. Now that he's being given alternative treatment options, it seems safe to say that Liam isn't going to die. In other words, yup, they're telling the same story they told with Eric not terribly long ago. Rinse, lather, repeat. On the plus side, the guy finally traded that babushka for a downright comical bandage. I really want Bill to be involved in this storyline. His absence, on the canvas as a whole, is especially egregious given that last week, the network held a lovely bash to honor Don Diamond's 40 years on the CBS soaps. Longtime fans will remember that before stepping into Dollar Bill's loafers, the actor was the young and the restless gardener-turned-businessman Brad Carlton. I don't for a second understand why Hope would want to go back to Forrester Creations. I was glad to see that they at least played the awkwardness of her workplace reunion with Ridge. Although I know I wasn't the only one who wanted to punch Ridge hard when he complimented Hope on her self-awareness. I mean, if Ridge talking about someone else's self-awareness doesn't merit a remix of Alanis Morissette's Ironic, I don't know what does. I like the idea of Steffi and Hope trying to put aside their differences for the sake of their families. But it would have been nice if they, as well as Ridge, had a conversation about what went down and why. Instead, Liam's death is, again, ironically, being treated as a cure-all that instantly heals all rifts. Where's the drama in that? Asterisk, what the heck was up with Zend, Elektra, and Will going to Daphne to suggest she whip up a new perfume? One that smells like diamonds and rubies? On whose authority? Shouldn't they maybe? And I'm just spitballing. Check with the adults across the hall. Asterisk, anybody else find it odd that Hope didn't even hesitate for a nanosecond before telling Carter about Liam's condition? If I'd been asked to guess who would find out next, I'd have assumed either Steffi or Taylor would tell Ridge, perhaps while explaining Hope's return to the company. which, it's worth noting, was a decision Steffi made without talking to her dad. Given that this entire show is nothing but talk, it's amazing how little people actually share with one another. Asterisk based on Friday's final minutes, I guess we're supposed to be rooting for a Brooke/Ridge reunion, despite him and Taylor declaring their love only moments earlier. Given that I want better for both women, I guess I don't really have a horse in this decades-long race. What about you? The bold and the beautiful's Brooke Logan has been in the dumps since Ridge Forrester chose to stay with Taylor Hayes. However, it seems that Brooke is about to find out something exciting that will pull her out of this rut and give her something to look forward to. What is on the horizon for Brooke? Ridge has treated Brooke terribly since she took the CEO job at Forrester Creations, even though she was trying to get the company back to the Forresters. Of course, Eric Forrester was the only person who believed her. Ridge, the serial waffler, immediately ran to Taylor and never gave Brooke's reasoning a second thought. Brooke has tried to explain herself time and again. It has done her no good to plead to him. Brooke has grown more and more depressed over Ridge's actions. Brooke cannot hardly stand to work at Forrester Creations because of her sorrow over this relationship failure. However, it seems that Nick Marone is about to come home, and Brooke may just love that. Ridge has been doing this to Brooke for years. However, Brooke has always believed that Ridge was her destiny. Perhaps it is time for Brooke to show Ridge that he is not the only man in the world. Will Brooke hook up with Ridge's half-brother, Nick, and show Ridge that there are some men out there who actually respect women and don't keep a spare in a closet? Ridge always keeps either Brooke or Taylor on the back burner to play them against each other. What will Ridge do when Brooke decides to stop waiting on him and move on? Is it time that Brooke puts herself first instead of waiting for Ridge to change his mind? Will Brooke ride off into the sunset with another man? Ridge is certainly going to pay attention if Brooke and Nick get together. Ridge is used to having Brooke waiting for him to return instead of putting a lot into a relationship to move one from him. Will Brooke's decision to move on with Nick be enough to make Ridge come to his senses, or will he continue to stay with Taylor and try to make this work? Ridge may even rush into marriage with Taylor because he wants to prove that he has done the right things. However, Ridge will eventually realize that Brooke is who he is meant to be with. Will Ridge and Brooke end up cheating before he breaks things off with Taylor, or have Brooke and Ridge found their new destinies? Carter was beyond blown away when Hope explained that it was him she wanted and not Liam, but the bold and beautiful executive shouldn't rest easy. Despite how loved up Cope are at the moment, a looming megatwist has already been put in motion, one that will have the potential to destroy their relationship for good. Carter was stunned when he went to see Hope, and rather than walking through Brooke's door to pitch her on another shot at their love, he overheard the object of his affections pouring out her heart to her ex. Carter's jaw literally dropped as he witnessed Hope pleading with Liam about the future and telling him she basically wanted to be with him every minute. Reeling, Carter retreated to his loft, where his not-so-secret admirer, Daphne, supported him whilst also taking the golden opportunity to remind him that Hope used him. As the nose reminded Carter that she had warned Hope would break his heart and go back to Liam, their scenes were abruptly cut off, in that we didn't see what happened after Daphne urged him to open himself up to happier, more fulfilling days. Last we saw, Daphne kissed Carter's cheek and he was studying her speculatively. Therefore, it's quite possible that in his heartbroken state, Carter succumbed to Daphne's considerable charms and had sex with her that night. While that secret alone is enough to torpedo the Cope reunion and earn Carter another carrot chop from Deacon, the mega twist we're envisioning could destroy any chance their relationship has of surviving. Picture this. Carter confesses to Hope that he hooked up with Daphne while under the impression she had gone back to Liam and betrayed him. Hope hates this, but decides she can forgive it as long as Daphne packs her bags and leaves Forrester and Los Angeles for good. Daphne, upon learning that Carter and Hope are back on, can't stomach the idea of staying anyway, and jets back to Paris on the next flight out. All's well that ends well, right? Wrong. If Daphne returns and announces she got pregnant the night she had sex with Carter in his loft, it's all over but the wailing where Hope's concerned. Why? Carter made a point of declaring, in his loft on the evening in question, that he wanted a wife and kids. Since everything happens for a reason on soaps, this snippet of dialogue was meant to tell us something. Was recently shocked to learn that Hope Logan has returned to Forrester Creations after being ousted by Steffi Forrester. Daphne was originally brought on board to create a signature fragrance, and also to help topple the coup by Hope and Carter Walton. Daphne managed to accomplish both, and she believed that with Hope out of the way, she would easily be able to seduce Carter. That has not been the case, though, because even with Hope away, Carter has been focused on winning her back rather than moving on. Falling for Carter was never part of the deal. It just sort of happened, and Daphne has made her feelings abundantly clear. They shared 2 kisses, and while Carter allowed them to happen, he hit the brakes on anything more happening. Daphne has allowed Carter to vent and share his heartbreak, believing that on the other side of it, there would be romance, but now that is looking pretty iffy. Finding out that Hope will be back in the office at Forrester Creations was the last thing that Daphne was expecting. It is also the catalyst to make her seriously consider returning to Paris for good. Ridge Forrester is equally stunned by Hope's return. She and Steffi have had bad blood for years, and he never expected his daughter to bring Hope back. Ridge knows that something major has to be the catalyst behind the decision, and he is also suspicious about whether or not Hope could be blackmailing Steffi. He sees Daphne, and they share mutual confusion over the situation. Daphne mentions that she is about to return to Paris, and it is Ridge who convinces her to stick around for a bit longer. As they talk, there are some sparks that make Daphne reconsider her future at Forrester. Ridge may currently be with Taylor Hayes and lusting after his ex, Brooke Logan, but Daphne still catches his interest. Could Ridge help Daphne to get over Carter? More importantly, could Daphne be the woman that pulls Ridge out of his decades-old triangle with Brooke and Taylor? The bold and the beautiful spoilers heavily speculate there's a very good chance that Wyatt Spencer might be back sooner rather than later to this fictional town of Los Angeles. The character was last played by actor Darren Brooks, and while Wyatt did briefly return last year, he has been mostly off the canvas. But because Wyatt's brother Liam Spencer is dying of a brain tumor, there's a good chance fans will see him once again to say goodbye to his brother one last time. Or at least, that's what the hope is right now among the bold and the beautiful viewers. Liam has made it pretty clear that he does not want to seek any treatment and that his cancer is terminal. So it would only make sense for all of his family members to come together one more time to say goodbye to someone who has always been a loyal friend, son, brother, and father. It goes without saying that fans would absolutely love to see Darren Brooks back in the role. After all, he and Scott Clifton had great chemistry together as the Spencer brothers. Plus, Wyatt has always been there for his brother through the good times and the bad. He was also the one person that Liam could count on to give some sound advice when the going was getting tough. And now that Liam only has a couple of weeks left to live, it would be nice to see Wyatt come back and connect with the one and only brother he's ever known before it's too late. Here's hoping the writers of the show make it happen. Now, whether or not Wyatt Spencer actually does come back remains to be seen. So far, the producers of the soap have not made any comments about the matter just yet. Watch this space for more. The Bold and the Beautiful airs weekdays on the CBS network. Check your local listings for times. Also, let us know what you think of this story by leaving us a line in our comments section below. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers are in for Monday, May 26, 2025. In the next episode, fans can expect Carter Walton to have some sort of grand romantic gesture for Hope Logan. Meanwhile, Deuce Stevens accompanies Daphne Rose as she flees town. Also, John Finnegan has a big request to ask of Liam Spencer. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the next episode of the CBS soap opera. In the next episode, fans will see Carter make a decision about his future. The COO already reunited with Hope, then had to break the news to Daphne. While the nose thinks about her shattered dreams, Carter will make a romantic gesture for Hope. Carter mentioned multiple times in the past few years that he's always wanted a family. A wife and kids, the whole works. Carter truly believes that Hope is the woman to make his dream come true. Meanwhile, Daphne is devastated over Carter's news. The nose doesn't understand it at all. Of course, there is some missing information here. For one thing, Daphne doesn't know that Hope only said those words to Liam because he's dying. It's not the kind of information that Daphne needs to know either. Afterward, Daphne decides to go back to Paris. Daphne ends up getting a ride from Captain Deuce Stevens. I have to wonder if the pilot might convince Daphne not to give up so easily. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that Finn will meet up with Liam. The good doctor will have a special request for the patient. While Finn has gone along with Steffi Forrester Finnegan, keeping Liam's secret, could things change? The doctor has seen what a heavy toll this is taking on Steffi. Now, Steffi won't release this toll unless Liam gives the go-ahead. So I could totally see Finn's request to Liam having to do with telling everyone the truth. As for what else to expect, Grace Buckingham gave Liam a risky option. Liam will have a big decision to make about whether to move forward with the procedure or not. While Liam wants more time with his daughters, this procedure comes with great risks, so stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Monday, May 26, 2025? Lawrence St. Victor took some time to detail what he does to keep in shape, and the fans were truly inspired to follow suit. There's no doubt that the bold and the beautiful Lawrence St. Victor has an amazing physique. His character, Carter, recently went toe-to-toe with Deacon in a major physical altercation. Now, the actor has taken to social media to share some of his workout secrets, so fans can get in shape as well. St. Victor wrote on Instagram, "It's not work, it's a privilege. We're gifted these bodies, and it's a blessing to be able to move and nurture it. Don't take it for granted. How did you break a sweat today?" Included in the post was a video of him doing various workouts, and in his caption he listed them all. The workouts ranged from sprinting with a weighted vest to weightlifting exercises that included shoulder presses, hammer strength presses, lateral raises, and more. The last one didn't go as he planned, and he referred to it as a failed attempt at muscle-ups. Co-star Romy Park asked, "Daisy got her steps and I just watched, but that counts, right?" Which is one of her new puppies, and St. Victor enthusiastically responded to her, "At Romy Park, it does. It's time to end SC's golden couple. Remy and Luna would make one powerful team. They could be the ones to break up Elektra and Will on the bold and the beautiful. But it's been a while since we've seen Remy on our screen. It's time for him to reunite with Luna." Remy was found to have made nude deepfakes of Elektra. He would take the photos and leak them on the internet every time she rejected his advances, nearly causing her to lose her job at Forrester Creations. Katie received a deepfake from an anonymous email address. She should have known better than to download an email attachment from someone she doesn't know. However, she opened it and saw the lewd photos. Without questioning Elektra, she immediately fired her. Elektra didn't have a chance to explain her side of the story. She also made a mistake. What made matters worse is that Elektra didn't reveal that someone was stalking her online and sharing deep fakes. If she had been upfront, this situation would have turned out differently. Instead, the situation got out of control. Remy threatened to take Elektra away from Will. Thankfully, Will came to her rescue. He fought Remy, who was eventually taken into custody, but he got released from prison and crossed paths with Luna when she was staying at Bill's mansion. He used a different name to hide his past. It's time for Remy and Luna to meet up again. He should know about her connection to Sheila. Plus, he can also help her get who she wants, which is Will. Her seduction plot failed. Will kicked her out of Forrester Creations. So what's next for Luna? She needs someone who can break apart SC's golden couple. Remy could use his good boy charm to convince Elektra that he's the man she needs. She's not ready to sleep with Will, who keeps pressuring her. Remy could convince Elektra that he's the only one who understands her. He would do anything to be with her, even if that means he can't sleep with her. Elektra could feel safe and love the way she wants to. Meanwhile, Luna can finally seduce Will. Both Elektra and Will would get what they want out of a relationship. Luna and Remy also get a win in this. We'd love to see this plan in motion. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments section. In a stunning and deeply disturbing turn of events, The Bold and the Beautiful has introduced one of its most harrowing storylines to date. At the center is Daphne, a once enigmatic new arrival whose charm masked a dangerously unstable mind. Her descent into obsession and violence has culminated in a shocking attack that leaves Hope Logan permanently scared and viewers reeling. Daphne's introduction to Los Angeles was marked by sophistication and ambition. With a background in fragrance design, she swiftly became entangled in the Forrester circle and formed a romantic connection with Carter Walton. However, what began as flirtation turned into a dangerous obsession when Carter reconciled with his ex, Hope Logan. Unable to cope with rejection, Daphne spiraled. Her resentment towards Hope grew, fueled by jealousy and delusions. This emotional volatility reached a breaking point when Daphne assaulted Hope with acid outside the Forrester offices, an act of violence that has sent shockwaves through the show's community. Hope was rushed to UCLA Medical Center, where doctors reported severe facial disfigurement and possible permanent eye damage. Once a public figure admired for her beauty and confidence, Hope's future in fashion and her personal identity now hangs in the balance. Daphne was arrested on site, screaming accusations that Hope had stolen Carter and destroyed her life. The incident rapidly gained national attention, and the Forrester offices were flooded with media inquiries. The narrative took another turn when Daphne's parents arrived from France, revealing that she had a documented psychiatric history involving violent episodes and delusional attachment disorder. Though previously stabilized, the stress and emotional entanglements in Los Angeles triggered a relapse. Hope's recovery will be long and uncertain. She remains hospitalized, undergoing multiple surgeries including skin grafts and reconstructive treatments. Carter has remained by her side, providing unwavering support and seeking out the best surgeons worldwide to aid in her healing. Beyond the physical damage, Hope now faces the emotional wreckage of trauma. Her silence and withdrawal underscore a deep internal struggle. Carter, burdened with guilt, believes he should have protected her from Daphne and is determined to help her reclaim her life. The fashion world now speculates whether Hope will return to public life or modeling, with Forrester Creations also at a crossroads. Meanwhile, the legal proceedings against Daphne raise complex questions. Will she be held fully accountable, or will her mental illness sway the court? Adding to the emotional weight is the possibility that Deacon, Hope's father, may also be Daphne's biological father, suggesting that the two women could be half-sisters. This revelation, if confirmed, layers the narrative with Shakespearean tragedy. While the future remains uncertain for Hope, her resilience and the unwavering support around her promise a long but possible road to recovery. The Bold and the Beautiful has pushed into raw emotional territory, shifting the focus from glamour to the fundamental themes of survival, identity, and healing. In a stunning twist that reshapes the emotional landscape of The Bold and the Beautiful, viewers have learned a long-concealed secret that will shake the Forrester world. Daphne is Hope Logan's biological half-sister. This revelation, rooted in family legacy and long-buried secrets, threatens to upend relationships and ignite a cycle of revenge years in the making. Daphne, a character whose ambition and charm masked a deeply personal agenda, has emerged as the center of a high-stakes drama involving love, betrayal, and identity. Recently, she confessed her love for Carter Walton, expressing that he is the only man she's ever truly connected with. However, Carter, now reunited with Hope Logan, rejected Daphne's affections, affirming his renewed commitment to Hope. This rejection triggered a surge of rage in Daphne, not just because of unrequited love, but because it reignited a deep-seated resentment she harbors toward Hope. What seemed like professional rivalry or romantic jealousy is actually rooted in a devastating truth. Daphne and Hope share the same father, Deacon Sharp. Years ago, during a reckless chapter of Deacon's life in France, he unknowingly fathered Daphne during a one-night encounter. Her mother raised her alone, and while Deacon remained unaware of her existence, Daphne grew up watching from afar as he returned to Los Angeles and built a life with Hope. The contrast between their lives fueled a bitterness in Daphne. Hope had the father, the name, the future. Daphne had only the shadows. Her arrival in LA was never just about career advancement. It was a calculated plan to dismantle Hope's world piece by piece. Daphne secured a role at Forrester Creations, earned trust, and positioned herself strategically within Hope's circle. Her next move was clear: seduce Carter and come between him and Hope. Though Daphne briefly succeeded in drawing Carter close, his loyalty ultimately returned to Hope, leaving Daphne isolated and embittered. Now, Daphne's strategy has escalated. She's targeting Hope's professional standing, subtly undermining her at Forrester through manipulation, whisper campaigns, and strategic sabotage. Yet, an unanticipated development may derail her plans: a chance encounter with Deacon. At Il Giardino, Deacon noticed Daphne, sensing a familiarity he couldn't place. Her resemblance to a woman from his past triggered buried memories, ones that could soon force him to confront the truth. As the pieces fall into place, the inevitable revelation looms. Hope is unknowingly battling not just a rival, but her own sister. Deacon must reconcile with a past he thought he had escaped, and Carter finds himself in the crosshairs of a conflict rooted in generational wounds. The ripple effects of this discovery will impact not only the central characters, but also others in the Forrester orbit, Brooke, Ridge, and Steffi among them. This isn't just another family secret, it's a reckoning. Daphne, once seen as an ambitious newcomer, now stands as a tragic figure driven by pain and denied recognition. As her identity comes to light, viewers are left to wonder: will Hope embrace this truth and attempt reconciliation? Will Deacon claim the daughter he never knew? Or will this revelation only deepen the divide, leading to heartbreak, manipulation, and irreversible fallout? In the latest developments on the bold and the beautiful Ridge, Forrester once again finds himself at the center of emotional turmoil, torn between Brooke Logan and Taylor Hayes. While Brooke regains his affections, Taylor's desperate tactics to win him back have taken a shocking turn, including feigning a recurrence of a rare heart condition. After Taylor is diagnosed with what appears to be heart failure, later revealed to be broken heart syndrome induced by emotional trauma, Ridge feels immense guilt. This sympathy prompts him to draw closer to Taylor, believing her condition is genuine and potentially life-threatening. However, suspicions arise that Taylor may be exaggerating or faking her symptoms to manipulate Ridge's emotions and drive a wedge between him and Brooke. Meanwhile, Brooke is under scrutiny after accepting a new role at Forrester Creations, a move Ridge perceives as a betrayal. Although her intent was to support him and restore company control, Ridge misinterprets her actions, leading to increased distance between the pair. Despite these setbacks, Brooke remains unwavering in her loyalty to Ridge. Even when Taylor provokes her with smug references to intimate moments with Ridge, under the guise of therapeutic yoga, Brooke refuses to retaliate, choosing instead to absorb the emotional barbs with measured calm. The rivalry between Brooke and Taylor intensifies as both women vie for Ridge's attention. Taylor subtly antagonizes Brooke by publicly sharing sentimental moments with Ridge, while Brooke, despite remaining composed, is clearly affected. The situation escalates into psychological warfare, with both women baiting each other through veiled remarks and emotional triggers. Taylor's attempt to sway Ridge with emotional manipulation backfires, as Brooke's quiet strength begins to win Ridge over again. Taylor's claims about Hope Logan's behavior mirror her own past missteps, undermining her credibility and exposing the double standards in her judgments. Complicating matters is the ongoing feud between their daughters, Hope Logan and Steffy Forrester. Their escalating personal and professional clashes threaten not only the stability of Forrester Creations, but also the fragile reconciliation between Brooke and Ridge. Each parent instinctively sides with their child, further straining their relationship. Hope's clandestine alliance with Carter Walton, aimed at a potential takeover of Forrester Creations, adds another layer of drama. Brooke discovers their plot and is torn between protecting Ridge and honoring her daughter's confidence. Her decision holds the potential to either safeguard Ridge's legacy or destroy the trust in their rekindled romance. Ridge and Brooke's bond, long tested by betrayal, loss, and rivalry, now faces its most formidable threat: the animosity between Hope and Steffy. The couple finds themselves isolated, emotionally exhausted, and questioning whether love is enough to withstand the storm their daughters have created. In a poignant moment, Brooke voices the fear both are too afraid to admit. What if their love isn't enough anymore? The silence that follows speaks volumes, as Ridge is left speechless, burdened by doubt. As Taylor's schemes and daughters clash, Ridge and Brooke cling to their shared history, hoping that their deep-rooted love can survive yet another crisis. But with secrets surfacing and loyalties tested, the fate of their relationship and the future of Forrester Creations hangs in the balance.